Hi everybody, welcome to the Breedwise Pet Provisions YouTube channel. I'm your host, Phil Gray. Today we're here to talk about episode 7, On Lead Heel. I'm bringing in a special guest trainer today, Mr. Steve Driscoll. He is a professional trainer and his qualifications are outstanding, and he's a friend and often a mentor to me. So I'm bringing in Steve to show us how to get a dog started with On Lead Heel. Now, my program is a hunting program. I do things a little bit differently than he does. He's primarily an obedience guy. So I have not started BB exactly like he would have. And I'm kind of forcing BB on him in a condition that is not as prepared as he would have had BB had he started with it. So in all fairness, we've got to cut Steve a little slack. I think he does a great job with BB. In this episode, this is his first encounter with him. First time these two have worked together. And for what BB knew going in, I thought he did extraordinarily well. And I also thought Steve did an amazing job of working with a dog that he had not prepped for this stage of On Lead Heel. That being said, just talking about healing, a lot of hunters like me, it's not that big a deal. We don't worry about On Lead Heel that much. The dogs are almost never on a leash. They're in a kennel, they're in a transport, or they're in the field and they're working, and we don't have them on a leash. So On Lead for a full-time bird dog, working dog is the exception, not the rule. But I know that a lot of my viewers have their dogs in suburban situations and urban situations. And even the hunters, every once in a while we need to take our dog to the vet, or we need to get them out while we're traveling to be able to use the bathroom and air them out. And so On Lead Heel is important. It tells a lot about the dog, and it's one of those things that I see done incorrectly a lot. I see a lot of people with a dog that's pulling on the lead, not paying them any attention, just kind of doing their own thing and dragging the owner around on lead. And it's the dog walking the handler, not the handler walking the dog. So this may be you. I'm not here to hurt your feelings. I'm here to help you. And I want you to have a really nice On Lead Heel with your dog that you can be proud of, that will make taking your dog out for a walk or in any kind of a setting where we have to be on lead, like in a traffic area. We want to make that a pleasure for you and enjoyable for you and fun, and also a good time for your dog. So I'm just going to lead us in here. We're going to go to our first session with Steve Driscoll, the pack leader, teaching us how to handle a dog on lead and train On Lead Heel. Thanks for watching. Okay, so we just put the leash on the dog. This dog's never really had a leash on before. Yes. Steve's showing you how to get him going on this.
Good job. Come here.
So he's kind of resisting. He's not sure what's happening. Something's around his neck that he is not used to.
Good.
Steve prepped him real quick off lead, leading him in with his hand with a treat.
Yes, that's
showing
good.
him treats are involved.
That's good. Come on.
Now he's introduced the lead. Now this is the first time we've done this, so BB doesn't really know what's going on.
Good.
Also, BB has never worked with Steve Driscoll before. This is the first time that Steve has worked with BB.
Yes.
So he's wanting to fight a little bit, but his tail's wagging. He's getting bought in.
Good.
It is also an extremely hot day with really high humidity. It's hot. It's tough to be out here working. It's tough on us. It's tough on the dog. But you see how Steve,
yes,
when the dog starts to go against the grain and he's having to take some pressure from the leash, puts a little pressure,
yes,
right back, leads him into the treat.
Good job.
Gives him the marker, gives him the reward.
Come on.
So if he fights the lead, that's not good, but if he turns away,
That's good.
and comes back to Steve, all of a sudden everything's okay. This is our first session
Yes.
with the pack leader, Steve Driscoll,
That's good.
with On Lead Heel.
Come
We might both go jump in the pool. All right, folks. This is Steve Driscoll, also known as the Pack Leader. He runs the Pack Leader Canine Academy. And Steve's been training dogs a long time. He is a retired firefighter. He worked with Miami-Dade Fire and Rescue. He has found people that were buried in rubble with dogs that he has trained. Steve's my neighbor, a good friend, and also a great trainer that I am constantly learning things from. So we're gonna ask Steve a question. Steve, when you're teaching a dog heel, and we need to be able to heel a dog on lead so we can walk our dog out in our neighborhood and have a pleasant experience, or take our dog to a restaurant or to the beach or wherever we're going. So we want to introduce on lead heel, and we want to teach that ourselves. Where do we start with that? Where's this? What advice can you give us about that?
Well, you teach him marker training first of all, which you did to this dog, it's obvious.
Yep.
And then at 8 weeks old or whatever, you just start free shaping, walking around the yard, and when he gets into a heel position, you mark that. Like you don't have a leash on him yet, but every time he comes up to you and is in a decent heel position, he doesn't have to be perfect, you just say yes and give him a treat, or click or give him a treat. Right,
so we're marking the position very early on with this dog.
Yeah, you're like free shaping it. I don't know if you've gone over that, but anyway, so it's just no pressure at all. There's no leash pressure or anything. So it's just, he's learning that when he gets in that position, he gets paid. So that's the first step.
Mm-hmm.
And then you start luring him with food, like I showed you on the video.
Right.
We kind of just skipped a couple
now
steps.
With luring, do we want to do very much of that, or do we want to kind of limit that?
It depends on the dog, but normally you don't have to do it, especially for a heel. Some of the other stuff like service dog work and stuff, you might have to do a little more of that. But
right.
Just for the heel, you just have to kind of lure him into a position and then mark it. And
right.
Then
And with BB,
it goes really fast. Like we did it for like 2 minutes, and then we went into the leash work.
Yeah, so with BB, in your defense, a dog that you have never even seen before,
mm-hmm.
You probably would have done some work that I haven't done with BB so far.
Right.
To get to this point.
Right.
So I had you at a little disadvantage, giving you a dog you've never seen.
A big disadvantage.
A big disadvantage. But you know what? He did pretty good, didn't he?
Yeah, he
kind of figured it out.
You can tell that he's had good foundation work from you.
Right. So if we start out okay with a dog, and then we put them in an unfamiliar situation, they tend to respond fairly well. Maybe not as well as a dog that you train from the start.
Right.
But laying the foundation is the foundation.
He responded to the leash pressure fine. You know, any dog, even if you do all kinds of work off lead and then you put the lead on, it's just a different feeling to them. They've never had the pressure around their neck. So most dogs resist a little bit. That's why we start out just luring him around and then put the leash on him. And then hopefully he won't even really realize that the leash is on him, and he'll be walking around with the leash. And then we work leash pressure, which is it's a little stressful for the puppies because they've got that pressure and they don't know how to get away from the pressure. But when they do, they get marked. So,
right. So you're rewarding their escape from the pressure. So as they learn to avoid the pressure,
so,
not only they're avoiding pressure, then they're also being positively rewarded
right.
for that avoidance. So it's kind of a double whammy.
So they learn how to turn off the pressure. So fast forward a few months and you'll be able to just have 2 fingers and move the dog around wherever, because he will not fight the pressure of the leash. I know that the hunters don't really use leashes a whole lot, but when you do use them, it's advantageous to have that work done.
They do it more than you think, Steve.
Oh, okay.
They do it more than you
think. I don't
think.
know that much about it.
Yeah, we all got to take them to the vet, and we all have to take them to town.
Oh, that's true.
We're staying at hotels, and we got to take them to use the bathroom, and they're on lead. So that's why this episode was really important to me. and it's a weakness of mine and a real strength of yours. That's why I brought you in to help us with this episode, so people will kind of understand the idea of the basics of training a dog on lead.
Awesome.
Thank you very much, Steve.
Thank you.